If you've been thinking about selling your art, or you're just ready to start making money from your artwork, but you have absolutely no idea where to begin, I have 8 specific steps for you to take to get you started. My name is Becky. I'm a self taught artist, and I have personally taken all 8 of these steps to prepare myself to sell my art, and now I want to share them with you. Maybe you're a newer artist and you've been practicing for a while, experimenting with different mediums and styles, and you've been improving your skills. And now you're thinking about learning how to sell your art and make money from this. Or maybe you have been making art for a long time and you have piles of art at home, but you've never really considered selling it. I'm going to show you how to prepare and get ready to sell your artwork. And the first step is I want you to choose one subject matter and one medium that you would like to sell. Okay, I can already hear some of you saying, whoa, that is way too restrictive. I am a creative and I love all different kinds of mediums and I love to paint or draw all different subjects. And how can I choose just one? Take a deep breath. This does not mean that whatever you choose, you are stuck with for the rest of your life. This is just to get you started. You might start out drawing realistic cat portraits, and you may end up doing abstract floral art, and that's okay. For now, just pick one to focus on. And here's why. If your artwork is all over the place, your customers and your audience are going to have a much harder time connecting with you and with your artwork. And they're going to have a harder time figuring out who you are as an artist if they've never heard of you before. If you have all your artwork out for sale and you're selling a landscape over here and a still life over here, and then you have a dog portrait for sale, and then an enormous abstract painting, it's going to cause confusion and you're less likely to make a sale. That leads us right into step number 2. Once you've chosen a subject and a medium to use, then I want you to make 10 pieces of artwork that are all cohesive, that are all similar in whichever category and medium that you've chosen. Now people will be able to recognize your work more easily, and you will be able to find the people that it resonates with. Instead of just being a random artist who sells random artwork, it will be like, oh, that's the guy who makes the silly cat portraits, or that's the woman who sells the beautiful floral paintings. I know step 2 is a big one. You want to be able to have plenty of choices for people to choose from when they're shopping for artwork. And so 10 might seem like a lot, but you're way more likely to sell if you have more options available. This could take you quite a while to create 10 quality pieces of artwork. So if it takes you months or even a whole year, that's okay. You're on your way to selling and making something that will sell. Now that you have your 10 pieces of artwork made and you're happy with them and they're ready to go, step number 3 is deciding exactly what you want to sell. So, do you want to sell only original artwork? Or maybe you don't want to sell your originals at all and you just want to sell prints of your artwork. Or maybe you want to sell both. Maybe you want to turn your artwork into greeting cards and start a greeting card business. Or maybe you want to make stickers or other types of merchandise like t-shirts or calendars or puzzles. The next step is really thinking about what you want to sell. Okay, now that you have a plan, you have your art ready, you know exactly what you want to sell. Step number 4 is to gather and prepare your inventory. With this one, you really want to be careful. You don't want to order hundreds of prints or hundreds of stickers without knowing if you're going to be able to sell them or not. You haven't learned yet what's going to be your popular items and your least popular items, and so you don't want to end up wasting a bunch of money ordering inventory that never sells. So I suggest starting out very small. If you're going prints, stickers, greeting cards, have a couple of each product and see if those sell, and then you can always order more from there. If you have the money, you might want to consider purchasing a printer, paper, ink, a sticker cutter, whatever you will need to make your own products at home. If you can't afford that right now, that's fine too. You can always just have your products made somewhere else and order them through the mail. And that's fine when you're just starting out. If you've chosen t-shirts or puzzles, calendars, mugs, tote bags, any kind of merchandise like that, you might also want to consider using a print on demand service where customers can order directly from a company. That company will create the product and ship it straight to your customer and you get paid. But just be aware that using services like this do cost money and you end up having to pay a fee for that. Unless you've decided to be a strictly print-on-demand business, you are going to need step number 5 to gather and prepare your shipping and packaging materials. It is totally up to you how extra you want to be when choosing your packaging supplies. It's fine if you want to purchase just some basic sturdy envelopes or some nice boxes if you're selling bigger items. And you're gonna want something to protect your artwork. So maybe some bubble wrap so that it doesn't get damaged during shipping. But it does look good for your business if you are a little bit extra. So you might wanna consider taking a few extra steps to make your presentation look nice. I know some people wrap their artwork in pretty tissue paper. Others include stickers or have a logo stamped on their packages. You might want to include a nice thank you card. You want to leave a good impression so that when your customer receives their package, that they feel like they have made a good purchase and the presentation looks nice. Right now, I sell original artwork and I sell prints of my art, and I've been able to find all of my packaging supplies on Amazon. But depending on what your needs are, you might want to check local office supply stores, check Amazon, different websites that sell packing supplies, and just compare the prices. Now that you have everything ready to go, step number 6 is deciding where to sell your art. So I would say for your very first sales, friends, family, just trying to advertise by word of mouth is probably your best bet. Just letting people know I'm an artist and my art is now for sale, and you're likely to get your first sales through people that already know you. From there, you'll have to decide if you want to create a website or if you would rather start out trying to sell on an online marketplace like Etsy or eBay. There's pros and cons to each, and you'll have to weigh those and decide yourself. There's a cost for both a website and selling on Etsy. And it used to be much easier, I think, to start out on Etsy because they already have customers, whereas a website, nobody knows about your website. So you're probably not going to get many customers unless you purposely draw customers and draw traffic to your website yourself. So it takes a lot more advertising. But now Etsy is very hard to sell on also, just because the website is so oversaturated and it's very hard to have your artwork found on there too. So this step will take a lot of thought and decision making. I personally have had very little success, actually zero success with Etsy. And so I chose to go my own website route, and that's been better for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best choice for you. And you may decide that the best thing to start out is to try to sell some of your art in person. And I think that that's a good idea, is to find somewhere where you can set up a table and sell your art. And that may be a farmer's market or a small art fair, somewhere where you can just do it cheaply, and maybe you can get your first few sales that way. Step number 7 is start creating an online presence. So I think in this day and age, in order to be successful as an artist, you have to be on social media. I went back and forth as to whether I should create my website first or I should gain a social media following first. And I ultimately decided on my website first. And the reason is, when people find you on social media, people are going to want to look you up, see what your art looks like and what you're all about. And if you don't have an online store yet or a website, then that's a missed opportunity. I recommend setting up your website, getting your products ready to go, and then starting a social media following. That brings us to step number 8, which is the most important step out of all of these. Be patient, be persistent, have perseverance, and don't give up, because it is not going to be easy. The first year, or even the first couple years of trying to sell your art, is not an easy road. It takes hard work. A lot of times you will want to quit, you will want to give up, but just keep going and you will make it. I really hope that this video helped some of you to start selling your art, and I wish you many blessings on your creative journey.